Hello everyone! Welcome to Humane Entertainment. I'm Humane, and I intend to entertain you. So, how's everyone doing today? Okay, so, yeah, and also, welcome to the second entry of Ninja Gaiden for beginners. So, Ninja Gaiden has this intimidating reputation that it's a very difficult franchise. The thing is, though, it's mostly the case of a lack of knowledge from the player, not a pure issue of a player's level of skill. With Ninja Gaiden for beginners, every Monday I intend to play through the Modern Ninja Gaiden Trilogy on the easiest difficulty, Hero Mode, and show step by step what you need to learn in order to properly understand how to play Ninja Gaiden. We are playing Hero Mode as a possible starting point for players who aren't as experienced in action games like Ninja Gaiden, and by using that starting point, showing how it's not as intimidating as you would initially think. So I hope to break down that aura of dread that people have in starting these games. With all that being said, I guess we might as well just move over to the game. So, okay, because this is a guide first and foremost, please ask questions about the gameplay mechanics if something isn't clear. I want to answer anything that I didn't make clear. There's a lot of things which are just naturally ingrained into me after decades of playing these games. So I may have blind spots on stuff that isn't as intuitive to new players. So I hope everyone understands that. Yes, go ahead and take notes, Starlight. But yeah, in fact, congrats on being first. Yeah. But when it comes to questions, Lan Prowl Kopaka was nice enough to send a few questions my way, which I intend to answer throughout this entry. So, let's see. His questions are, first, what's a good combo to focus on for beginners? Good question. I'll go over that throughout this entry. Another question is, what's a good practice to keep when in battles and in boss fights? Also a good question. He has 4 questions, so here's the third one. What's some fun things to try as a newbie? Things that make Ninja Gaiden unique. Again, also a good question. And his last question here that he sent my way was, what would you feel is the biggest challenge or the most difficult part of the game that a newcomer might face, and what is your recommendation for it? To that, I will, I will point out when it happens, because the first that we will get of this, of what I consider the biggest challenge, would be in the upcoming chapter. So, nice little timing there. But yeah, again, got questions? Ask them in the chat. I'm here to help. I even got the whole message there. Got questions? Ask them in the chat. I'm here to help. Up there, and also as a pinned post in the chat. So yeah, I very much encourage you to ask questions. And also, feedback would be nice too. Starlight came up with a great idea of adding my controller inputs in a stream as well, which you can see right here. So, yeah, it may help you figure out what it is that I'm pressing to make things happen. Let's see. Yeah, all buttons have a... Yeah, okay. Oh, must have a... Oh, did I press something wrong? Oh, whoops, I changed it to a... There we go, yeah. Okay, alright. Then, we will start with Chapter 3, where we left off. Chapter 3, Skies of Vengeance. The Hayabusa village has burned, and the Dark Dragon blade is gone. Ryu has stowed aboard an airship headed for the Vigor Empire, his goal, vengeance. So yeah, he is on this airship because this is the only way allowed in order to get into Tyrone, which is the capital of the Vigor Empire. Alright. And Ryu also has his new costume on now instead of the ninja costume. Alright. Okay. The first question of Lan Prowl Kopaka was already, what's a good combo to focus on beginners? So here's the thing. Naturally, you're probably going to use this, which is just the X combo. Like, either that or this one, because you are holding the controller in a specific direction, which makes you do the kick combo instead of this triple slash combo. That's probably the most natural combo to do. That said, the most useful combo, especially for a beginner to properly get used to, would actually be this one, which is XY in order to get in the air. And then when you're in the air, you can then do XY again in order to do a slash in the air and then a slash downwards. In terms of combos to start with, this would probably be a good one to actually properly get used to. There is a logic to all these combos, which I will get to pretty soon. But we are going to face some enemies who are going to block a lot. In which case, it's going to be very important for you to remember this one in particular, which is the uppercut, the X and then Y, X Y. So again, you can look at my controller inputs: X Y, X Y, X Y. Or if you just want a single attack instead of having the first slash before that, you can also press forward and Y. So forward and Y, like this. Which essentially is the same thing as the Y part of XY. But you can just do it on its own. But yeah, it's going to be important because of what we are going to face next. Okay, I know I can just go one door after another, but first I want to just show, oh, the door is locked. There's a wing-shaped keyhole under the doorknob. Alright, so I guess we're going to have to find a wing-shaped key then. Alright, let's check all the other doors. The door is locked and won't budge. There's a card slot next to the door. An ID card of some sort must be necessary. Alright, so yeah, we got two key items that we have to find. First, a key in the shape of a wing, and an ID card. So, yeah, okay, this is where we started, so... Oh, and again... oh. I guess he doesn't say anymore that that it's no time for sleeping after you already interacted with it. That's funny. Alright, well, let's just go over one room after another. Let's see what we get. Oh, yeah. So, if you were still lacking in healing items, well, fortunately, you will find all these healing items within these rooms. And if not a healing item, then it's some advice from Ayane here. You must strengthen your weapon, awaken its inner power to a greater level, and you'll be able to perform devastating new techniques. Yeah, so that is the reason why you want to upgrade your weapons at Muramasa, which is only available from this point on. It was not available in the previous chapter, because by then Muramasa was only just a shop rather than a blacksmith. The blacksmith didn't allow you to upgrade anything. Okay, but yeah. So you want to upgrade your weapons because you get new techniques from it. And with... Oh, and she also gives us a band. Alright, yeah, right. Because we are also playing Ninja Dog mode. So, Band of Protection. Okay, well, from the name you can kind of guess what that does. Yeah, so if Band of Strength makes kick and throw techniques stronger, Band of Protection gives you more defense. Which might be useful if you feel like you get damaged way too often. I'm going to stick to the Band of Strength for now. So yeah, I guess Ryu's just gonna rob each of these cabins while he's here. Also, might as well point out, well, what was I supposed to press again? Ah, yeah. Ryu has not yet found the map to this area. So yeah, pressing the back button, that would normally show the map, but he doesn't have a map of this place yet. Well, fortunately, he finds a map here now. So yeah, if you need a bit of a lay of the land, you can just watch over the map and all that. Also, yeah, there is, you'll notice, blue, yeah, out of doors, blue means that it is unlocked. Yellow means you have yet to interact with it, so you don't know if it's locked or not. Red means it is locked. So yeah, that's the reason why I interacted with all those doors, just to show the differences, like this. Yeah, so I said this guy blocks a lot. Well, he literally has a shield, so obviously he would block a lot. So yeah, okay, that guy doesn't. So let's just, okay, yeah, see, so he blocks a lot. So I'm slashing, but he blocks the attack. Oh, hello, Kadias Mossflower. Confer wherein upon them, then interactive of the forbearant heed upon them, not the shinobi. Indeed. I mean, well, I do confer the teachings of how to play this game. So, yeah. Alright, so, as I said, this guy has a shield, which means he's gonna block and I think my batteries are running out, isn't it? Alright, excuse me, I'm gonna have to replace the batteries right now. Or, maybe the batteries themselves just weren't placed correctly. Let's see if that's the case. Nope, it really is. The batteries has run out. Okay, so I'll be right back. Alright, let's change some batteries. Thankfully, we got enough batteries, indeed. Alright, could be reconnected game. There we go. Okay. Alright. Where we left off, right. So, I did say that XY, or forward Y, which were both uppercuts, that they are very useful against enemies with shields. Well, that's because they are guard breakers. There. Which essentially allows you one free hit afterwards, usually. So... okay, I'm just gonna have to... okay, so he's... so he blocks... oh. Or he's... yeah. He blocks, and then just as he got his guard broken, that's your chance to attack him yet again. Therein upon them is the intention towards them, not the batteries endure upon them. Yeah, well, I guess the batteries were not able to keep up with my intentions, I guess. Alright. So, okay, so, that's the thing with the uppercut, why the uppercut is very useful. I mean, you could also just have neutral Y, which is this, but, as you can tell, it is a bit slower, which gives the enemy the chance to attack you while you are doing this. You can even see in my control input, I am mashing Y right now, but still it's a very slow attack. Compare that to the X attack, which is a lot quicker, which, yeah, might as well be a good point for me to point out. The whole thing with the combos is there is a logic to how the combo is built up. Because you will notice all the X attacks are multiple presses, like XXX, XXY, and yeah, XX, forward XX, etc. Y is usually a single hitter, which means that if Y is in a combo, usually that would be at the end of something. You will generally never get a combo which starts with Y and then goes to X. Like, for example, here, this is, I'm just gonna mash X right now, which gives you this attack. Pressing Y in between each of them gives you something else. No, not this one. There, gives you this instead of this. So Y is usually the button that you press after X. So usually, I do say usually, you don't get combos which start with Y and an X. Well, in that case, what's the deal with this then? There, I'm pressing XY, XY, okay? Isn't that literally an X immediately after Y? Well, that's the thing. Technically, this is not one combo. Like, it looks like one combo. Technically, it's not one combo. Because the combo actually was this. This was one combo. This was another combo, which is X in the air and then Y. X in the air and then Y. And this is X on the ground and Y. The special property of the uppercut is that it's a Y attack that then leaves you in the air, which essentially allows you to start this new combo in the air to do this. So yeah. So the logic still kind of stands. Usually you don't get an X attack after a Y attack in a combo. The only reason this is the case is because technically this is two combos which are glued together. because you get the in-air status, which, yeah, might also be something to point out. Yeah, there is a difference between being on the ground and pressing X and being in the air and pressing X. Those are two different attacks. Those are not the only statuses, though, because you have on the ground, you have in the air, you have while running, and you have while landing. So this is what X is if you are just simply grounded. If you are running and pressing X, you do a different attack. Again, this is just like Super Smash Bros., where there's a difference between a neutral attack and an attack while running. And same thing with if you are just landing, that is also a specific status, because that's the reason why there's a difference between simply charging like this or charging just as you're landing. Like, it looks the same, but one is clearly a lot quicker. That's because of the on-landing status. So yeah, again, there is on the ground, there's in the air, there's while running, and there is while landing. And you could also imagine, anytime you do the uppercut, well, you're landing, aren't you? So, that means that the uppercut is a good way to go into different statuses if you need to. Like, okay, so I'm on the ground right now. I want to be in the air to do this. But if you are in the air, you are going to land, so you can just land and do an on-landing attack. In addition, if you are holding the control stick in a specific direction while you are landing, you transition into while running. So yeah, this is actually one of the reasons why people seem to have a bit of trouble to figure out, wait, sometimes I'm doing this attack, sometimes I'm doing this attack. What am I doing differently? Well, that's the difference. The difference is, what status are you in? Are you in grounded, or are you in while running? With all that in mind, here I might as well just point out, yeah, if you are jumping from an enemy's head, that leaves you in an on-landing thing, which can transition into while running. So that means if you jump off an enemy, look at that, you do a running attack afterwards, after landing. Alright. But I did say in the previous entry I am going to minimize the amount of advanced combos. So I'm trying to not do this too often. Even though it's not that difficult to do if you just know it is XY, XY. Like, it's just one button after another. So, X, Y, X, Y. It's not really that complicated. But I am going to try to minimize that just for people who still have trouble kind of alternating between pressing X and pressing Y. So I'm gonna try to do this or do this more often. But usually, it is actually more useful to do this, if only because either you break someone's guard with it, or you launch them in the air, which means they are defenseless, because they cannot block while they are in the air. That makes this more useful than this. Oh, well, a Winky. Well, didn't we need that or something? A key sculpted with a wing design. Well. Oh, look at that. Okay, we don't have an ID card yet, though. Oh, question for the chat. What's your opinion on this game so far? Also, as a little reminder, that if you are being overwhelmed with enemies, you can always just jump off a wall and do this. Again, in this game, this wall attack is still a very safe attack to do if you are overwhelmed. Yeah, and that kick just comes automatically if an enemy dies, but they're still standing. It's just Ryu's way of immediately getting rid of the enemy, so that he can focus on an actual alive enemy, you know? Okay, so, might as well check the map here. Yeah, so, we are in the, yeah, I guess that, yeah, that would be the main deck. In the main deck, and there are 2 stairs that go down. There is also, like, a little room, right here. Lively Gods. And, yeah, as a reminder, get 9 of these Lively Gods, or activate 9 of these Lively Gods, and you get a full health upgrade. Right now, on the lower right, you can see we already have 3 of them. Now we got 4 of them. Also, something very important to point out, actually. Any collectibles that you miss in this chapter specifically, well, okay, and another chapter, you will lose them forever if you don't get them here. So, generally speaking, it's not that bad. But, yeah, if you are a completionist, you are going to want to get all the collectibles you can find in this chapter specifically. And there's a plot reason for that, but I don't know. Personally, I think they should fix it somehow in some way. Like, maybe the collectibles would fall and end up somewhere else or something. I don't know. Anyway, from the looks of things, this must be the ship's galley. From the looks of things, yes, indeed. Ryu. Okay, so let's go down these stairs first. Oh, hey. So, as I said, now we can actually upgrade these weapons. So, funnily enough, the wooden sword actually starts off more expensive than the dragon sword to upgrade. Which, to be fair, it's actually kind of justified considering how powerful the wooden sword becomes when you actually level up to level 7. But right now, the better investment is the dragon sword right now, because the dragon sword gets quite a lot of useful additional combos at level 2. So yeah, a Japanese sword handed down in the Hayabusa Ninja Clan. It is carved out of the fang of a dragon. Strengthen this weapon? Yes. Okay, so yeah, instead of 1 star, it now has 2 stars. And if you need to buy any, oh yeah, this is the reason why we want to upgrade the dragon sword to level 2, because only a level 2 dragon sword, okay, not only dragon, but the dragon sword can only use this thing at level 2, and that is the Izuna drop. Anyone who has watched any of my streams would know how hype this freaking move is, Izuna drop. So, okay, let's just buy it. Would you like to purchase this item? Yeah, it's just 500. That's quite a good investment, really. Alright. So, with the Dragon Sword now at level 2, you will notice in the combo list there are some combos which are added, which have the little level 2 icon on the right to it. So, we first had a combo that was XXY. Now, it can be lengthened to XXYY. So this is our first time where a Y attack actually can be followed up with another Y attack. Alright, so first let's see how that looks. Well, okay, maybe in a little bit more of an open space just to give a better view of it. Okay, so first it was this. That's what it was first. Now, adding an additional Y to it. There. This is the first difference between this combo and the original combo of just X 3 times. Because X 3 times does not lead to this. So what's the usefulness of this? I'll be honest, not much yet. It's mostly the fact that this will lead to a level 3 combo, which is better. So, yeah. But right now, yeah, this has been lengthened. And that's the general gist of each of these level ups. Okay, so besides that, what else? So, we have the Blade of Nerti, and we have the Izuna drop. It's XY, XXXX, and XY, XXXY. Again, the combo list is a little bit misleading, because it makes it look like that is one entire combo. Technically, the first XY is just to get in the air. The real combo is simply being in the air and pressing XXX X or XXX Y. But you might notice nothing happens. I am mashing X in the air right now. Nothing happens. That's because the next X attacks can only be done if you are actually hitting an enemy in the air. Which is why it is important to do the XY first, to get you and the enemy in the air first. So let's find some enemies to try that out. There are documents strewn about, but none appear to contain any useful information. Well, I don't know, who are you to judge, Ryu? Maybe it is pretty useful if you just know what kind of intel it should give you. No, whatever. Alright, so, as I said, the XY is just to get you and the enemy in the air. So just to demonstrate, XY. There. XY. It is just to get you and the enemy in the air. And then, if you and the enemy are in the air, that is when you can then press XXX, X 4 times, or XXX and then triangle, Y. So, let's test it out. There. That is with Y, that is the Zuna drop. So, let's try the X one, which is the Blade of Nerti, which is a lot easier because then you don't have to remember when to press Y. So, yeah, let's go over it again. Oh, come on, buddy. He does not want to be launched right now. Okay, how about this then? Sure, you get the Zuna drop then for that, buddy. Alright. Yeah, we'll find another enemy to actually show the Blade of Nerti. Alright, yeah. Some doors, the only way to, the only thing you need to do in order to unlock them is to just be on the other side to unlock them. We still have yet to find an ID card, so no reason to actually go back right now. The lamp is red. The door must be locked. Okay, guess we'll have to somehow turn the lamp green. So this is the captain's quarters, which we have seen in the map right there. Stream elements. Question for the chat. Were you aware of this game before the stream? Were you aware of this game before the stream? Okay, so, yeah, the camera clearly wants us to look at this, but, what is this thing over here? A golden scarab. Alright, so, there are 50 golden scarabs in this game that you have to collect, and every 5 or so golden scarabs that you give to Muramasa, you will get a reward for it. So, yeah, there are 3 golden scarabs in, this chapter. If you miss any of those golden scarabs, they are lost forever. So, I am going to point out where all the golden scarabs are, and honestly, the first thing I did after realizing that everything is missable forever in this chapter, I immediately memorized every position of the golden scarabs in this chapter specifically. Was I aware of this game before the stream? I don't know. Were you aware, Starlight? A very ancient looking map. It must be here for decoration rather than any practical purpose. Alright then. Alright. A report from a junior officer lies on the captain's desk. This is regarding the incident on February 22nd in which all of the locks were deactivated. The source of the problem was found to be a malfunction of the primary power supply unit in the aft cabin. Fault irregularities caused by the aging of the unit caused the failsafes to kick in, activating emergency power. In this type of situation, all locks aboard the ship are deactivated as a safety measure. I recommend that we upgrade our electrical system as soon as possible. Okay. That's the thing, though. Okay, so in the aft cabin, there's the main power source of this airship. If that would be disrupted, all the locks will be unlocked as a safety precaution. So, guess we should head over there then. Alright, so, yeah, the aft cabin, that is like a floor down, and then going past the middle cabin. And somehow we're gonna have to go from the middle cabin to the aft cabin. Alright then. Also, there's a map of Tyron, which is not usable right now, but yeah, considering that we are going to spend most of the game in Tyrone, it is nice to have this little map here. Alright, so here's the fore cabin. We just have to kind of move to the back in order to get to the aft cabin. This deck of the ship is made up of a series of control panels containing communications and navigation equipment. The door is locked and won't budge. There's a card slot next to the door. An ID card of some sort must be necessary. Alright, we better find this ID card then. Yeah, okay, I want to show the Blade of Nerdy, which is like, I guess, the simpler version of the Izuna drop, where you don't need to press Y at the end. You can just keep pressing X in the air. That's the Blade of Nerdy, which is just... yeah. It is just to get them to the ground with a slash. Now, why would you want to do Izuna drop or the Blade of Nerdy? Well, first of all, the combo keeps you in the air longer, while the enemy is also stuck in the air. So the enemy can't do anything about it the moment they are launched. Like, they just cannot do anything about it when they are launched in the air. It's only Ninja Gaiden 4, in fact, that finally allowed enemies to block in the air. So really, that means all previous Ninja Gaiden games, you are free to keep launching enemies in the air, and they would have nothing to do. They would have nothing to block against it, besides the initial uppercut. So yeah, the initial uppercut, that's the only reason they would be able to avoid this attack. That, however, makes this enemy kind of annoying, because he is capable of blocking the uppercut, like this, but besides breaking his guard with an uppercut and then trying to do another uppercut, you could also, well, try to find an opening just as he is trying to attack, or, again, jump off his head and then attack him from the back. Usually, they would not be able to block an attack from behind, which is funny because you can, in fact. Nice, yeah. Oh, right, ID card. Alright, so I guess we can backtrack to all the places. Thank you for the hydrate. Thank you for that, Brad Wong and Yan Lee.
Yeah, that's right. I'm stretching.
Thank you for that,
Got a problem
Sonic.
with that? I want to be able to fully enjoy taking you apart without some pulled muscle slowing me down.
Alright. Thank you for stretch. Alright, well, just to demonstrate, well... Oh no, I thought you immediately had to use the ID card here, but no, that's not the case. Okay, but... okay, first of all... Though a multitude of files are stored in this room, none of the documents look as though they contain any important information. Alright, alright. If that's what you say, Ryu. Alright, so... We have one sword, how about we have two swords together? Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang. So... oh, yeah, description. Two Japanese swords that were reputedly the property of a famous dual sword master, which, if you know any Japanese history, that probably is, Miyamoto. Was it Miyamoto Musashi? Musashi. It was Musashi. In fact, a new game, Onimusha, is coming out where you play as Musashi. So, fun little thing there. It's a Capcom game, so it's not meant to actually be a the same universe, but I don't know. I think it's kind of funny how that's a topical thing now. Anyway, if you look at the combo list of the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang, ooh, that is a lot more, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, but again, the logic still stands. Usually, all these combos, there are multiple presses of X, and Y is usually at the end. So, just to demonstrate, okay, so dual katanas are the only weapons that have a pause combo, which, if you notice, yeah, that's what the space is for, which is press X and then wait for like half a second and then press X again. Guess I might as well demonstrate that. Okay, so this is if you just keep pressing X. So yeah, that's just pressing X. 4 times. Okay, so if you pause after the first X, yeah. Yeah, and honestly, the pause, it's not that exact. Just as long as it's not an immediate press, that's already different. So as long as you just just press X and I don't know, just don't immediately press X again. Just wait for just a little bit. That's enough to do a different combo. But again, XY is still an uppercut. Pressing forward and Y is still an uppercut. So yeah, this weapon essentially does most of the things that the Dragon Sword does. So why would we want to have the Dragon Sword then if we have these weapons? Well, mostly for plot, but also because this weapon kind of has less defense, if that makes any sense. Like, if you use a Dragon Sword, and I press block just as I use any of these attacks. Usually Ryu would be able to block an attack immediately, even though he's not in a blocking position yet. Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang has more recovery frames. Like, it takes a bit longer for Ryu to properly be considered in defense with these weapons, which makes it so that it's much easier for enemies to attack you in the middle of your attack. So yeah, that's something to consider right now between the two. You know, just for fun, before I actually go with Dragon's Claw Tiger's Fang, I just want to show off what is the wooden sword like then. But okay, here's the first use of the ID card. Alright, so, the wooden sword. It is essentially a much weaker Dragon Sword at this point. In fact, you cannot do an Izuna drop with it, because if you press Y, you press XY, you are not going to launch in the air. You will just stay on the ground instead, thus not allowing you to do an Izuna drop. It is essentially Dragon Sword level 1, but even less than Dragon Sword level 1. You can do essentially most of the combos that Dragon Sword level 1 could do. And just to be clear, this thing, uppercut without launching in the air, technically the Dragon Sword can do that too. There. All you have to do is just hold Y when doing the uppercut. So yeah, this is just pressing Y with the uppercut. And here's holding Y during the uppercut. There. Why would you want to do one over the other? Well, maybe sometimes you don't actually want to launch an enemy, and instead you just want to break the guard and just stay on the ground afterwards. So, yeah. That makes this pretty useful. I will go over the shurikens pretty soon, actually, but first I just want to go over another encounter with the wooden sword just to kind of show it off, I guess. Okay. Yeah, new save. No, you know what? Actually, we are going to head towards what I had in mind when Landpower Kopaka asked, what would you feel is the highest or the biggest challenge or the most difficult part of the game that a newcomer might face, and what is your recommendation for it? Well, we have an ID card, and we know that if we backtrack, eventually we reach this thing. Yeah. This door that we did not unlock at this point. Well, we are going to enter something that old school players would call a Fiend challenge, but the trophies or achievements of this game call it ambushes. What happens is that you are going to be in this room, and you're going to, well, in hero difficulty and normal difficulty, you're going to fight a wave of 60 enemies. On hard difficulty, it's going to be a wave of 80 enemies. On very hard mode, it would be 100 enemies, and on Master Ninja difficulty, it is 120 enemies. So it's a lot of enemies, one after another. I personally, I don't think it's actually that difficult. It's more so that it's slightly tedious, if anything. But why would you even want to do this? Well, if you beat all of them, you will get a rare reward, which either will help you get a Life of the Gods or Life of 1,000 Gods in order to get a health upgrade, or you get a Talisman of Rebirth, which allows you to, well, yeah, which we already have, that if we die, it just immediately revives Ryu, immediately, which is a very useful item to have. Another thing you could get is something called a Spirit of the Devil, which gives you more Ninpo to use. Because remember, we have one Flame of Ki right now. We can have another Flame of Ki in order to use Ninpo more often. Okay, but yeah, this is more so tedious than it is actually difficult. But I do think this is something that some players actually kind of got stuck on, if only because they did not realize it's technically optional. You don't need to do this. You can just, if I wanted to, I could have just continued with the plot. But really, the rewards, they are pretty useful. So I am going to show you the best way to deal with them. First of all, you will notice in the menu right now on the bottom. Oh. Okay. Titbu Gnome. Yo, I have a question. Do you already do the game? I am doing the game indeed, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, welcome to the stream. This is Ninja Gaiden for Beginners. If you have any questions on what on how to play this game, I'm happy to help. But yeah, on the bottom you will notice Karma display is off right now. If we press X right now, Karma display is on. So what does Karma display do? Look at the left there. First, there's a time limit. Don't worry, you don't need to actually beat this encounter in a time limit. It gives you more points. Nothing bad happens if you don't reach the time limit. But what's useful about it is there's kill 0 right now. So, kill 1. Okay, I did say that there are 60 enemies, right? Well, now we literally have a proper idea of how many enemies do we still have to kill in this ambush. Oh, question for the chat. Is this the kind of game you would play? Okay. Okay. Okay, but I wanted to talk about the best way to beat these enemies. Well, remember when I explained about the ultimate technique, which is just charging and using the essence of an enemy in order to skip a bunch of charges in one go. Well, here's the thing. Right now, I'm gonna... Okay, I just killed this enemy. Right now, the amount of essence I have is 5,100. Let's see how much essence he gives us. Okay, so that ball of essence, that's 100 essence. All right, good to know. Now, okay, first I'm just gonna kill this guy first. Kill both of them, that's fine too. Yeah, that's the usefulness of the Izuan drop. Sometimes you just get splash damage and you just kill multiples at the same time. Okay, but there's 2 essences right now for me to absorb in order to perform an ultimate technique. So, let's wait for an enemy here. Yeah, okay, so there. So, this enemy got killed by an ultimate technique. That essence is a lot bigger now, isn't it? First of all, yes, I did absorb 2 of those essences. Yet I did not get 200 essence out of it. Yeah, the essence that you absorb as part of your ultimate technique is a lot less than if you were to absorb it normally. However, any enemy that you defeat with an ultimate technique will multiply the amount of essence that they actually release. So, remember how the essence used to be 100 essence. I just absorbed this essence. Yeah, okay, so 200 to 900, that would be 700. It went from 100 essence to 700 essence. Yeah, so just goes to show the usefulness of that. Okay, so with that in mind, what if you do this then? Kill an enemy. Kill another enemy. Kill this enemy with an ultimate technique. Okay, which means he releases essences, which you can absorb to do another ultimate technique. And then you just chain that together. Just use the essence from one enemy to... Sheesh. Yeah. Just don't get interrupted by the enemy's shots, because then it would be a waste. But yeah. That's the trick, essentially. Just chain together ultimate techniques. Sure, you get less money from it, because even though it is the essence is multiplied, you are absorbing it with the ultimate technique, instead of absorbing it normally. But it is an easy way to get through the encounters. So yeah. That's why I said it's mostly tedious rather than actually difficult. If anything, use this as a way to practice the timing of the on-landing charge. Just keep jumping off at enemies and charge while landing. In fact, just kind of look at my controller inputs as I do it, so you kind of get an idea of when are you supposed to press Y when charging. Yeah, right now there are no essences right now, so yeah. If you run out of essences, just kill one enemy normally. And yeah, it is... You do multiply the essences a lot more if you hit it with a 2 essences ultimate technique than just a 1 essence. But still, a 1 essence is probably easier at this point, because you are essentially going from one after another. Nope. Yeah, they do kind of switch it up a little bit. It used to just be these white enemies, but oh, it's just 40. Okay, so on hero difficulty it is 40. It's normal difficulty where it is 60. Okay, so it's actually even quicker to go through this on hero difficulty. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. You don't need to beat 40 in hero difficulty. But yeah, we don't need a karma display anymore, unless you really want to know what your karma score is. There's not really anything you need with the karma score. It's mostly for bragging rights or being on leaderboards. Anyway, from beating all those 40 enemies, we get Lies 1,000 Gods, which, yeah, will upgrade our full health. Again, pretty useful, I say, and all you really have to do is just have the patience to get through these 40 enemies. And even though I have absorbed all of these essences through the ultimate technique instead of just absorbing them normally, look the amount of essences I have. I have 10,000 essences now to spend on. Just a reminder, I simply needed 3,000 in order to upgrade the wooden sword, or I only needed 2,000 to upgrade the dragon sword. So yeah, it's quite a good investment, I'd say. Also, yeah, if you just do some proper platforming, as in not like that, I think you can just simply... No, you can't. Okay, yeah. Ryu's wall run is not as... He's not as high as... Oh, sheesh. Ryu's wall jump is not as high as he is in Ninja Gaiden 4, which is what I am used to now, unfortunately. But yeah, this is the Golden Scarab. Again, try not to miss this one, because after this chapter, any Golden Scarabs that you missed, they are missed forever. Also, just a reminder, this is hero mode, so if you do indeed reach close to death, well, just keep attacking enemies until they release a blue essence while you are in hero mode, because yeah, they cannot kill you at all while you are in hero mode. And if need be, just abuse the ninpo, because you have infinite ninpo while you are in hero mode. Oh no, wait, we are supposed to go to the aft cabin in order to disrupt the power source. But yeah, that answers the question to Land Pro Kopaka on what is the biggest challenge or the most difficult parts. Yeah, these ambushes, they are hidden throughout the game. These ambushes or fiend challenges, they get more difficult the higher difficulty you do, mostly because of Master Ninja difficulty. You will have to get through 120 enemies, which is a lot, and just grinds on you after a while. But yeah, that's what I think is the most challenging thing for newcomers to deal with. So here's the middle cabin. Okay, so each of these boxes, if you just destroy them... Oh, I thought... Not each of these boxes. Some of these boxes, they will release essences. And, well, I might as well just say it in advance. We're gonna get a fight here. So, if you need any quick essences in order to charge an ultimate technique with it, you can, in fact, just quickly destroy one of these boxes to get some essence, and then use that to charge an ultimate technique. That said, I prefer to use the Dragon Sword than I do the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang, but maybe some people will prefer the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang. Oh gee, there's a fight here. I didn't figure. Okay. Okay. Again, blue essences count as 2 yellow essences. Sure, you don't heal if you absorb it with the ultimate technique, but still, sometimes it is more useful to use it as an ultimate technique instead. And I just use all these Izuna drops and all that. I should lower the amount of times that I did that. So. Okay, yeah, before heading this way... Well, okay, I'll just head this way just to show. Oh. Well, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Okay. If you walk back here, there's a box of arrows. So if you need a refill with arrows, you can just go over there and then start using the arrows against these guys. Oh, shit. I also just remembered, actually, that I did not explain the smoke bomb. Yeah, I grabbed the smoke bomb and then I said, like, okay, I'll just talk about that later. I guess I might as well just talk about this now. Smoke bombs, they, just like arrows, are limited projectiles. If you press B, Ryu will first do a roll and leave a smoke bomb behind. There. So what's the usefulness of this? As long as the smoke is between you and the enemy will focus on the smoke instead of you, which gives you the chance to charge an ultimate technique while they are being distracted by the smoke. So let's just see if I can demonstrate that without a certain something happening here. Yeah, okay, so there's, yeah, those enemies in the black armor with the shield, they have a grab attack where they will kick you. We are going to face one pretty soon, and if you are very unlucky, he might actually do that, and he'll kick you off of this airship. And you will immediately die because you are sent falling down over there. So let's hope that doesn't happen. So, But yeah, okay, so pressing B will drop the smoke bomb, and as long as the smoke is between you and the enemy will be distracted by the smoke bomb, giving you a chance to attack. See? I guess he was just confused, like, oh, smoke, what's that? So yeah, that's the usefulness of this smoke bomb. But again, it is a limited item. Usually the only way to get a refill on smoke bombs is to go to Muramasa's and buy more smoke bombs. So if you don't want to spend too much money, well, even so, smoke bombs really are not that expensive, especially if you are doing all the ambushes where you fight all those enemies. The amount of money you got, like, the smoke bombs are essentially pocket change at that point, really. But still, I prefer the shurikens. Now, okay, I have alluded to something with the shurikens, and that is, yeah. First of all, the shurikens, they're not really damage dealers, are they? I mean, usually I just use it to kinda do like a semi-double jump and kinda get some distance from enemies and all that. Well, yeah, that's essentially what they are used for. They are used to kinda extend your combos by throwing shurikens in between. That said, there's another use of the shurikens, and that is what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to slash and then shuriken. Yeah. So sometimes you are kind of stuck doing your combo because you've been mashing X the entire time. But then you're like, oh crap! I want to quickly roll out of the way as soon as I can. So what can you do? Well, pressing shuriken will cancel your combo, like this. There. No, lamp. Yeah, okay. Lamp is red, the door must be locked. Yeah, okay. So, that's what we're here to fix it. But, yeah. Any attack, well, okay, not any attack. Most X attacks can be cancelled with a shuriken. This is the reason why it's useful to just throw a single shuriken instead of just doing the whole thing of throwing all the shurikens. It's only in the air where you have no options, where you will throw multiple shurikens. Even so, that's actually for the better, really. But yeah. But again, notice XB, 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 XB. It's a good way to kinda cancel your attack and just move away. Question for the chat: what do you think about the gameplay elements of this game? But yeah, so XB, 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 okay? We also have XXB, 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 and even the full X combo, XXXB, XXXB. Yeah, even the final slash of that combo can be cancelled with a shuriken. There's a lot, but this is really helping. Good. I'm happy it is helping. Okay. This is just a chest in this one. Like, okay, that's good to have. Oh yeah, we're never gonna return here, so might as well just use a Great Spirit Elixir, because you have it maxed anyway. Yeah, just use that as a free refill, really. Okay, okay, so, what's Ryu's comment on this? What a careless repair job. Are you trying to make fun of ninjas? I find it so funny how usually Ryu is so professional and introverted and all that. It looks like a kanji. Yeah, that the kanji is kind of like the kanji of a ninja. But the idea is that just the fact that Ryu, says, are they trying to make fun of ninjas? This is the only time where Ryu is this petty. And I kind of love it. Like, I mean, it's also the fact that it's about a repair job, which I guess because Ryu always had this little weird fascination with curio shops and all that, I guess he just loves the idea of repairing things, and then he just looks at this repair job and he's like, wow, really? Are you trying to make fun of ninjas? Come on. Like, I don't know, I thought it's kind of funny how this is the one time where Ryu is actually kind of petty, of all things. Okay, anyway. Alright, well, here's the power source. Let's start hacking and slashing. That's what we're here for, right? Announcement can be heard over the intercom system. There's been a malfunction in the electrical system. Switching to emergency power. The locks on all doors have been opened as safe precaution. Alright, so each of the doors which have been locked before, they are unlocked now. Including this one, just to demonstrate. Right, what I wanted to say though, yeah, this chest right now, it's just a chest that gives you a Great Spirit Elixir. On Master Ninja difficulty, some exploding bats will come out, and they will explode and launch you into the air, making you fall down. So, yeah, so it's not necessarily a mimic, but it essentially is a mimic, really. Oh yeah, you can kick those enemies into those containers, which will explode. So that's also to keep in mind that what you can do. Oh, sheesh. I forgot. Yeah. Essences, they don't... yeah, they don't immediately go to you after a battle. That's something that they added in Ninja Gaiden 2. Where if there are still essences around but the fight is over, the essences will immediately be absorbed no matter what. So yeah, time to go back over all the doors that were locked. Which, to be fair, is not actually a lot, actually. Yeah, because most of them have already been unlocked because of the ID card. Okay, we got 2 of the scarabs. One was found in the captain's quarters and one was in the ambush. Now this has been unlocked. We are heading towards where the last scarab is in this chapter. So yeah, try to remember where they are, because if you miss any of them after facing the boss that's coming up, you will lose those scarabs forever, and it will be impossible to get all 50 scarabs. So yeah, you're supposed to go that way. In order to find a scarab, you're supposed to run up this thing. This is where the final scarab is in this chapter. So yeah, just as a little repeat. First you get up here. Then wall run up here. Wall jump off here. This is where it is. So yeah, try not to miss that one, because I missed that one the first time I played through this game. Oh, okay. There's a Great Spirit Elixir, but I'm already at full health. Well, there is a fight here. So, I might as well just kind of go over this fight first. And if I happen to lose health... Well, I don't. Okay, well, then I don't need to get back to grab that thing. Because, yeah. No real use for it at this point. Alright. So, if you head up that ladder, yeah, that's gonna head to the boss. Well, okay. Would head to the boss, but what happens if we actually climb up this ladder right now? Like, you just have this very long animation. That's locked. Oh, okay. Fine. Fine. Okay, well, as you were heading up there, you do notice that little thing there. Well, fortunately, Ryu can do this. So yeah, just a little extra puzzle in quotation marks. But yeah, you are going to head towards the boss here, so I recommend saving before you actually go up the ladder. So, remember when I talked about the statuses, where you have a while running status, you have a while grounded status, we have a while in air status, and on landing status. Well, the while running status will probably be very useful to keep in mind right now, because this boss is actually, yeah, this attack, yeah, this slash. First of all, it was just a single slash, and it at level 1. At level 2, the second slash has been added on the while running combo. This combo is essentially going to be the boss killer of this boss. So Lan also asked, what's a good practice to keep when in battles and in boss fights? Well, again, I've already explained this with Murai. Try to study the boss first. Don't immediately go attacking the boss. Kind of study what kind of attacks he has. So, turns out, just kind of running in circles is kind of the best way to dodge his shots. And right now, that's his only attacks, because I'm out of range for him to do his melee attacks. Okay, so what happens if I get in melee? Okay. So it's just a very slow hit. And sometimes he'll try to fire point blank. Okay, sometimes he laughs, which might be a good time to actually attack him. Or while he is charging that shot. Okay, so considering that running around is the best way to dodge the attacks, you are already in while running status. So just run towards him. There we go. Yeah, and he keeps having to charge that laser of his. So just kind of wait until he... Oh, sheesh. I want to say run out, but yeah. Oh, or while he's doing that. There. And also, again, the while running status also happens when you're landing. So, if you are jumping towards him and just keep holding forward, you will enter while running status. And you can kind of loop it around like this. There. And this is when Ryu kind of realizes, oh wait, but then who's driving the airship? Oops. Well, that's unfortunate. Fortunately, somehow Ryu survives this. There's also a thing with the ambushes. Most of the time, if you have done one of those ambushes or fiend challenges, you will probably get so much karma that you're almost guaranteed a Master Ninja rank. If not, then at the very least a Head Ninja rank. Or, wow, I guess I just wasted too much time then. Okay, fine, but either way, it usually would give you quite a high rank, really, because of the having done the ambushes, is what I was trying to say. But that was Chapter 3, now we're going for Chapter 4, which is the second of the 3 chapters we're going through this entry. Ryu has escaped from the crash of the airship. Spread out before him is the city of Tyron, the capital of the Vigor Empire. Oh. Yes, this is definitely the most efficient way to get in here. Oh. You must go now to Hans Bar. You should be able to spot it easily due to its garish neon sign. I guess that's Ayane's opinion on that neon sign. Hans Bar is a well-known watering hole, as well as the center of Vigor's underground intelligence. There you may find clues about Doku's whereabouts. Alright then, guess we'll have to find Hans Bar. Also, Band of Wealth. Well, okay, from how that's named. There, one of Ayane's ribbons. When wrapped around Ryu's arm, it increases yellow essence absorption. Well, absorption also means the amount of money you get from each essence. Which, if you combine that with using ultimate techniques to multiply the amount of essence that you get from an enemy, yeah, this makes it actually pretty easy to get enough money to upgrade the wooden sword to the Allure of Flawlessness. So, if you don't care that much about getting more attack with kicking and throwing, you can use the Band of Wealth instead. Yeah, I'll just save here. And I'll do another save just to have the next one already be set up. Yeah, guess Ryu's not the only survivor of the airship thing. Of course, just because it was useful for the boss doesn't mean it's also it's not useful for the enemies. Sometimes the enemies can also have trouble facing off against Ryu, who does the running slash. So something to keep in mind too. Actually, I think I forgot to... Yeah, in info, we also got this letter from Morai. So, let's read this. If you wish to find the Dark Dragon, you must simply start killing. It is said that the Dark Dragon's power grows as chaos and destruction grows in this world. There is no need for you to spare the subjects of the Vigor Empire. You go there for revenge, do you not? The Dark Dragon revels in killing and destruction. If you provide these things, it is certain to call out to you. That is your destiny as a Dragon Ninja. Be aware of this as you enact your revenge. Alright then, well, I guess we should trust Morai, right? That he probably has our best interests in mind. Well, this is a very peculiar statue. A huge statue depicting two serpents facing each other. The power of the statue to float large stones in the air clearly shows it was not made with modern technology. It must be the product of an ancient age. Yeah. Feels like it might begin moving again at any moment. Also, there's a circle of rocks here as well. So, The surface of the pedestal contains a depression. It looks like it was meant to display a tablet of some sort. Haven't we seen something like this before? The door is locked and cannot be opened from this side. Oh, we do know this. Oh, looks like something we want to use. Also, in the captain's cabin, we did grab a map, right? Well, this is Tyron. Alright then. So, yeah, it is possible to just kind of circle around in order to get to the other side of this gate. So, yeah, we just try doing that then. Oh, okay, well. Tyron, compared to the airship, is a place that you will return to multiple times. So, we might have a chance to grab that again. And just as a reminder, besides the Izuna drop, we also have the Flying Swallow, which allows us to just kinda dash through an enemy while in the air, like this. So yeah. That is jumping towards an enemy, and when you're in range, press Y. So, like this. Actually, I just realized I keep instinctively using the wind run instead of the normal jump, and I think I should properly explain that. Yeah, all this time I haven't been doing the normal jump, because this is the normal jump. And this is the wind run. So the only difference in this game, unfortunately, is just a little shockwave that comes after the jump. But yeah, what happens with wind run is, notice on my controller input, I am not pressing the control stick in any direction. I'm just pressing X and A at the same time. But Ryu will jump towards the nearest enemy. Whereas if I jump normally, well, just neutrally, you will just jump up like this. Or if you jump in any direction, you will just jump in that direction. But yeah, that means you're gonna have to kind of aim towards the enemy all the time. Well, you could, or you just use Wind Run instead. And why is that useful? Well, again, the command for Flying Swallow is to jump forward towards an enemy, and while in range, pressing Y. Well, Wind Run does half that work already. You are jumping towards an enemy already. So all you have to do is just press Y as Ryu is jumping towards the enemy with Wind Run, like this. See? So that makes Flying Swallow a lot easier to perform if you just know to use the Wind Run instead of jumping normally. And also, yeah, X and A at the same time. That's actually not that difficult of two buttons to press at the same time, because that's actually in the path of your thumb. Your thumb is, if you are just looking at your controller right now, yeah, this is me pressing A with I guess the knuckle of my thumb, if that's the, yeah, I don't know, the turning point of my thumb, and then the tip of my thumb presses X. So yeah, it's actually pretty simple to just press X and A at the same time this way. That's a similar case with Ninpo, where you're supposed to press a B and Y at the same time. So, might as well just use it on an enemy just to show it. But yeah, they are essentially the same path for the thumb to press. Well, some dead ninjas. These are not Hayabusa ninjas. Who are they? The corpse of a ninja, killed before he was able to complete his mission. He's holding something. Guillotine throw. Alright, technique scroll, guillotine throw. Contains the technique guillotine throw, in which Ryu grabs an enemy's neck while jumping and uses his momentum to toss the enemy from for high damage. Command, while jumping forward, X and A. Isn't that the same thing as Wind Run? Okay, so, that's the thing. You use Wind Run first to jump towards an enemy, then use the same command, X and A again, in order to use a guillotine throw. So yeah. The arrows stuck into him are still usable, but no more can be carried. Yeah, we already have 50. But yeah, I might as well just show off the guillotine throw, because obviously some enemies will appear here. Alright, so, yeah, again, Wind Run to jump in the direction of an enemy. And then when you're in range, press X and A when near their head. Oh. There. What's useful about this is a throw attack, which ignores guards. Granted, this can only be used on human-sized enemies, but, well, it's mostly the human-sized enemies who are blocking. So, even that guy that has a shield... Oh. There. There was nothing he could do against that, really. And, again, look at my inputs. I'm just pressing X and A at the same time, and then X and A at the same time yet again when I'm in range. There's no need to carefully aim how to jump, and then pressing X and A. Just press X and A to get in position, and another X and A in order to throw them. The door stands firmly shut. Alright then. Also, take note of that open window there. Okay, I think if I use the bow and arrow, that should allow me to zoom in. There we go. Oh no, actually, it's not actually that useful in this game. Yeah, okay. So Ninja Gaiden Sigma is the third version of of the Xbox Ninja Gaiden. In Ninja Gaiden, the Xbox Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden Black, it is actually useful to kind of keep that thing in that window in mind. It's not that useful here, actually. Come to think of it. Oh well. By the way, I have no idea how Ryu is controlling that door to open. It just opens because Ryu pressed B to interact. Right, the the ninpo. Yeah, like I said, pressing B and Y does the ninpo. But again, that's in the path of the thumb. Yeah, that's just in the path of the thumb again. So, there is no ability which necessitates you to press X and Y at the same time, like this. Because it's kind of more unnatural to do that, because then you're gonna have to kind of have, yeah, your thumb in either in a different position, or to just kind of, yeah, have the tip of your thumb press both of them at the same time, which is not as natural. Same way with A and B at the same time. But X and A and Y and B, they are in the path of your thumb, which makes it easier to get those commands specifically. Alright, well, now we were able to circle all the way back. Well, first let's open this first. Unlock the door. It can now be opened from both sides. Well, okay. He says open from both sides. Technically, he just opens it and just leaves it open. So it's not necessarily that it can be open from both sides. It's just open from both sides now. Anyway, so what's the deal with this? Lunar. Or lunar. Lunar. Okay. So it's a bow staff. A staff that is said to harbor the mysterious power of the moon, crafted from the strong branch of a willow tree. Alright then. So, similar to Dragon Sword, again, it is just a bunch of X attacks and Y attacks afterwards. Okay, so XXX and XXY. And also XY. Oh, is XY yet another uppercut? No. Actually, Izuna drops usually is a sword move in this game. Like, other games will allow other weapons to do Izuna drops with the XY in order to uppercut an enemy in the air. But in this game, they want to make it so that only swords actually have a proper XY command in order to get them in the air. That said, the Lunar actually does have an Izuna drop. Let's see. Yeah, while jumping, XY. So, somehow you're gonna have to get an enemy in the air in order to then press XY. Granted, at least you don't need to press X 3 times and then Y. You just need to press X and then Y. But still, you still have to figure out a way to get an enemy in the air in the first place. That makes Lunar level 1 a little bit difficult, actually. Because, yeah, you can press forward and Y to get them in the air, but then you're not the one in the air. Like, maybe it is possible to do this. Like this and then XY. But still not as reliable as with the Dragon Sword. However, this is why we want to have the Lunar be level 2 instead. Because level 2 will give you combo that will help you get you and the enemy in the air together. But what's useful about Lunar, though? It's faster than the Dragon Sword. So, if you just kind of need a weapon to kind of overwhelm an enemy with, with the quick attacks, that's kind of what the Lunar is for. Also, the door's locked. On the lock, there's a skull symbol. Guess we should find some kind of skull key then. Unless they were very much trolls and it's like, oh, it has a skull motif, but actually a butterfly key is needed for it. That would be weird, wouldn't it? Stone tablet, top. Okay, so yeah, we needed something to put in that depression and all that. The strange power can be felt flowing through the fragment. It's certainly not an ordinary stone. Alright, so we can backtrack, but really, you might as well just wait until you have all the pieces of the stone tablet. Door's locked, cannot be opened from this side. Alright. Oh, Ayane has something to say. Apparently the game has to load what Ayane has to say. When in doubt, look to the color blue for the path. Yeah. if you need any indication that there's something that you should check out, just kind of look for the color blue. Like here, and, well, there's color blue over there as well. Okay, well, first let's get rid of the enemy. There's also another enemy over here. Okay. You know, Ryu, you could have sheathed your lunar. I don't think it's that... I don't know if it's that comfortable to hold your lunar like that while you are doing all these athletics, but okay, fine. Okay. Okay, you can just try to keep climbing, but if you were listening closely, you would actually hear some footsteps, actually, because... Oh, look at that. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I could use the essence. Fine. Okay. As a little shortcut, if you want to show off to people, instead of doing the slow climb, you can also just wall run. And here's a little trick. Do shuriken and then the Y attack. Because the shuriken first kind of gives you some height, right? Well, the Y attack in the air also gives you a little bit of height too. So if you do both of them one after another, look at that. So yeah, just a little trick you can do in this game. So yeah, first you press B in the air in order to throw shurikens, and then at the height of that, you press Y. Just a little trick you can do. Alright. Love the camera angle here. Funnily enough, the clock of the clock tower, that's whatever time that's in your system right now. So right now, yeah, that's the time on my computer. So yeah, that time is what's on the clock. Fun little detail there. All right, so what did we do all this effort for? You know what? I'll take it. Also, don't worry, even though we still got 4 of the Life of the Gods, using a Life of 1,000 Gods which fills everything up, you still keep those 4 Life of the Gods, so don't worry about losing any progress from that. Alright, but the Lunar is actually not the only weapon we're getting here. The corpse of a ninja, killed before he was able to complete his mission. He's holding something. Alright, Ninjaku, yeah, so... The Lunar is a little bit more balanced compared to, in terms of a speed weapon. If you want an even faster weapon, that would be a Nunchaku. In fact, yeah, compared to other weapons, like even the Lunar, it only has 3 X's in the combo. Nunchaku has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so that seems a lot now, but when we get to Ninja Gaiden 2, that's actually the norm. Ninja Gaiden 2 makes it that 5 hitters are the norm instead of 3 hitters. So yeah, kind of goes to show the how Ryu keeps getting better at things. Anyway, we also saw that thing being blue, so how about we check that too? And again, similar case to all the other weapons. Yeah, all a bunch of X's. But, oh, it was 3 X's, in fact, instead of 5. Wow, it's even more. But yeah, each of those X moves, you can just end it with a Y attack. So yeah, here's the full 6 X's. And just any of those times when you press X, just pressing Y will do a different slash or different attack. So, yeah, which is generally a better thing to end on than the one that you get if you just mash X. Because that last one is actually a little bit slow. Almost as a punishment, really. It's almost as a punishment for button mashing too much. So, try to put a Y attack in between instead. Because it's faster and actually stronger. Alright. Well, also good to have. So yeah, as Ayane says, when in doubt, look for the color blue. Alright, what's the deal with this thing? The door is locked. On the lock, there's the lily symbol. Okay, guess we'll have to find a lily key. In a Sunday stream, I might talk a little bit more about this wall, but this wall bothers me for a specific reason. Anyway, okay, let's check this gate right now. The door is locked. Funnily enough, the game is nice enough to zoom out when you interact with this door, just to show, hey, there's a handle up there. Guess we should get up there somehow. Tyron is a city divided by multiple gates. If you search, you will no doubt find the secret to opening this gate as well. Alright, well. Fragrance and Dayflower. Yep. So, just like how Ayane's rations are essentially the Ayane's versions of the elixir of spiritual life, the Fragrance of Dayflower, it replenishes Ryu's ki power slightly. Similar to the elixir of Devil Way. So, all these things, that's what Ayane just gives you in Ninja Dog mode, just to give you more healing items or more items to use. Oh, look at this very unassuming old man.
Is there? Ah, a customer. Well, here and... Oh, hello?
Alright. I've received an advance deposit from the girl with the hood. These are special discount prices, just for you. Okay, well, thank you for that, Ayane. I see you have one of the golden scarabs, a legendary artifact of which many are scattered around the world. If you give it to me, I will exchange it for something worth your while. It's funny how he says scattered around the world, because it's just scattered around Tyron, or the Vigor Empire. It's not that scattered when you really think about it. Alright. Here, I'll give you this in exchange. Alright, this is for giving one scarab, but now we gave 3, so yeah, this is what we get for 1, and then every 5 scarabs we get something new. Alive the Gods. Alright. Today you have brought me 3 scarabs, which brings the total number that you have given me to 3. Alright then. Okay. So, we do have a lot of money, might as well just start upgrading. So, the Nunchaku cannot be upgraded. So, I guess we don't need to spend money on the Nunchaku at least. So yeah, the wooden sword, yeah, in order to get it to level 2, it needs 3,000. The lunar, in order to get it to level 2, it needs 2,000. Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang needs 2,000. Well, again, let's just try to upgrade the wooden sword as much as we can in order to get the strongest version of this weapon. Yeah, it's level 2, but nothing has changed about it. It only changes on level 7 specifically. But we can immediately just upgrade it to the next one. It's 5,000 now instead of 3,000, but we can still get that. Okay, so that's as far as we can upgrade the wooden sword as of this moment. Every next few chapters, Muramasa is able to upgrade a weapon further. So right now, wooden sword can only be upgraded up to level 3 right now. Okay, well, we have money left. Might as well just upgrade the lunar and the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang. So, lunar. Lunar even gets a new little look to it, so that's nice. Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang. Alright. I did say that the Lunar had a useful thing about level 2, which makes it easier to perform an Izuna drop. Let's show that. And just for completion's sake, sure. Let's grab this map of the capital of Vigor. Anything else I might want? No, I already got the Izuna drop, so... Okay. Okay, yeah, so... We've had fun with the nunchucks, but let's go back to the Lunar. Okay, so... first of all, you get an additional attack where you press X 3 times and then Y, alright? Alright. Might be useful to know about. Also Infinite Fury, which is XYY, alright? Alright. But remember how I did forward Y, which was this. Now, with level 2, if you press Y again... oh, it's level 3 specifically. Okay. I guess I misremembered. Okay, so for the Lunar, if you want to have an easy to perform Izuna drop, you actually need to have it at level 3 instead of level 2. Because then this attack will be upgraded. So yeah, right now, don't expect the Lunar to be an easy Izuna drop at this point. As for Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang, though, yeah, we got a bunch of additional attacks based on pressing XX forward Y. And of course, it kind of breaks the rule a little bit with the X thing. That's why I said usually. So, okay, so XX. Okay. I don't see any... I think it's mostly because it ends up in the... It's in this uppercut, which then allows you to do more X attacks in the air. But yeah, I still prefer Dragon Sword over everything, so... That said, I think I should, at the very least, kind of show the usefulness of the nunchucks against these enemies. There. Like I said, it's very fast. The fact that it is fast, in fact, will help you break the guard of the one shielding. Because just doing that Y attack between the combos, yeah, it will break his guard with this one, and you can almost immediately just start attacking him afterwards. Like he would be incapable of actually defending against all those attacks because you already broke his guard and then just kept attacking. Sure, it doesn't do as much damage as a Dragon Sword, but because the enemies are essentially stun-locked, yeah, makes it easier to deal with these enemies. That said, these enemies, these are the Black Spider Ninjas. These are the guys that you found dead in the ground and all that. And they throw these things, the Incendiary Shurikens. If they successfully hit you with it and you did not block it, I'll just show what happens. There. Yeah. It explodes after like a second. Okay, let's just count seconds a little bit. Come on. Come on. Mind throwing it? Oh. Okay, just throw it when I want you to, buddy. Oh, okay. I can kind of count it when the... I just want to count 1, 2, 3. 3-ish seconds. So yeah, 3-ish seconds after it hits you, that's when it explodes. Okay, here are some ways to deal with it. Well, I've been kind of dealing with it already. Just holding block. As long as you hold block, you will deflect those incendiary shurikens. Even though they are hitting you in the leg, you are blocking, so it just deflects off of you. So yeah, that's one way to deal with it, but what if you actually are hit with it? So, come on. Mind throwing it, buddy? There we go. Here. Use a wall attack. Because you are invincible during the wall attack. So, if you are hit by those incendiary shurikens, just do any attack that would make you invincible for, like, the few seconds that it would explode, like this. There. There. Or, if you don't have any walls and you are just having too much trouble, you can also just hold block after being hit. Come on. There. Just hold block. Sure, you get your guard broken, but you will kind of block against the explosion on your face somehow. There. Okay. But, yeah, that's just me kind of showing the ways to deal with the incendiary shurikens, but really, as long as you stun lock them with the nunchucks, it's not that difficult to deal with them, because by stun locking them, you just kind of prevent them from even trying to hit you with these incendiary shurikens. Alright, Spirit of the Devils. I did mention that with these things, you get more ninpo to use. So yeah, a jewel with that shines bright crimson. It increases reused key limit. So now we have 2 of them instead of a 1. More ninpo is always nice. Yeah, they wanted to prevent us from going through this door. A group of ninjas dressed in black garb act with wicked intent in Tyron. They are members of the Black Spider Clan, and they act behind the scenes to hinder our progress. Do not let them leave Tyron alive. Alright then. Also, we get some rations from Ayane. That's nice. Yeah. So, at least now in Tyron, there's no... okay, at least in the main part of Tyron, there are no scarabs that are missable forever. It's only in the airship and a specific other area, which I will point out to when we get there. But yeah, I will point out where all the scarabs are. So here's this scarab over here. Alright, so there's a crack to this thing, but none of our weapons are capable of breaking it at this point. So yeah, we'll just have to get back to this. And this, of all things, is a good place to kinda show what the Lunar can do. Door is locked and cannot be opened from this side. Alright then. Yeah, so because the Lunar is level 2 right now, instead of just doing this, we can also just press Y after that. That slash at the end is actually pretty useful because of the amount of reach it has. So, just to show it. Oh, okay, no, we have to run a little bit before we... Yeah, okay. There. So it's not as fast as the nunchucks, but it is still pretty fast and still overwhelms the enemies a little bit. And this is the ultimate technique of that, which I hit nothing with, but... Okay, let's just... Yeah, and that's the level 1 essence technique. Alright. Also, there's some stone circles here, so also keep that in mind. But yeah, unlock the door. It can now be opened from both sides. Yet again, it's not so much open from both sides so much as he just opens it and just keeps it open. Great Bridge Square. Wait, I wouldn't say the bridge itself is that great, really. I've seen greater. The door stands firmly shut. Alright then. So yeah, surprisingly right now, Ryu doesn't get a fight in this place. You would think he would get a fight in this place the moment you get here, huh? Okay, but we do need to get higher somehow in order to reach the lever. Also, the XY, that's not an uppercut with the lunar, but it's still a fun move to do because it does the whole multiple pokes thing. So that's kind of funny. Okay, just to show there's nothing here though. It's just you reaching this part in order to do this. Oh, Black Spider Ninja has been here. The corpse of a ninja killed before he was able to complete his mission. He's holding something. Suke's diary. January 24th. The woman that I saw tonight in Fagor. She was extremely beautiful. I must persevere to keep my wits about me. Perseverance. Patience. February 2nd. I encounter her again. That woman slays the beasts as if they were flies. The vicious way she fights is so unlike her beautiful appearance. A perfect example of extreme intensity. She is no ordinary female. Or February 6th. During a fight with the MSAT, which are those soldiers we've been fighting, I slipped up and suffered a grave injury. I cannot reach my black spider brethren. My provisions are almost all gone, and my life is near its end. Death during an assignment is the wish of every ninja, but we still have no clues regarding what happened to the evil Dark Dragon Blade. So, clearly, they want Dark Dragon Blade. That is my only regret. All that is left is for me to trust my comrades and accept these last painful moments as my destiny. February 7th. Although I have become so weak, I still await my death. Although I know it's only a matter of time before I perish, I wish I could glimpse that woman one more time. I wonder if we'll meet this woman. Anyway, here's another scarab. And we have reached the top of the gate. And here's a great devil elixir. It just heals all of your ki. Well, heals. It just lights up all of your ki. Alright, but let's finally use this lever to unlock that door. Also, just as a little reminder, we still have this guillotine throw here. There. Still pretty useful to remember. Especially because of what we are going to face next, in fact. Well, okay. To be fair, it is also pretty useful against the Black Spider Ninjas. Also a good place to just kind of practice it, if anything. Yeah, so Wind Run to jump towards them, and then XA again when you're close to them in order to do the guillotine throw. Yeah. Well, that is indeed a garish looking sign, isn't it?
Do you have a ticket for the party?
Alright, so this is the boss, quotation marks, of this chapter. Yeah, so these guys, they are on the motorcycles. Alright, if only there was a way to kind of throw them off of it, or something. Alright. There you go. So yeah, that's why I said, practice the guillotine throw a little bit, because that's the best way to deal with these guys. Just throw them off of the motorcycles. Lily key. Okay, well, that's when we need to open that lily door. What kind of show did they have in this bar?
I'm Rachel, hunter and slayer of fiends.
So that was a fiend.
You don't see them much nowadays. It's hard to believe they were ever human, isn't it?
Human?
Anyone with susceptibility to the curse, whether they are a saint or a sinner, can succumb to it and become a fiend.
So what does that make you?
Complex. And you?
I'm looking for a greater fiend named Oku. Do you know him?
Why are you looking for him?
I'm going to kill him.
You have no idea what you're up against, do you? If he could be killed, I would have done it myself long ago. He was the one that took my sister from me.
Well, guess they have a common goal, I guess.
It's gonna be a busy night.
You seem to have quite a way with the ladies, my friend. Don't mind me, I'm just passing by. By the way, good luck with that Doku guy. Sounds like you're going to need it. Oh, and I know Rachel quite well. She'll be just fine.
I always love to imagine that once Ryu just looks over the railing, he just sees this person just have his face splat on the ground floor right there. Alright, so why did I choose to make this entry chapter 3 to 5 instead of just chapter 3 and 4? That's because this next chapter, okay, first of all, Lesser Ninja, okay, fine. Oh, sheesh, yeah, okay, got a new enhancement, but yeah, this is the chapter where we play as Rachel. This is something that was added in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. This was not in the original Xbox Ninja Gaiden, it was not in Ninja Gaiden Black, it was added in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, which is the version that we are playing now. Chapter 5, The Fiend Hunter. Searching for the whereabouts of her twin sister, Rachel the Fiend Hunter heads alone to the Dwarku Monastery. She sensed the presence of fiends lurking in the shadows. Alright then. So, Rachel's, compared to Ryu, Rachel only has a single weapon, and that is the Warhammer. So, a Fiend Hunter's weapon, the Warhammer is suitable for taking the heads off of fiends. So, similar to Ryu, the Warhammer also just has mostly attacks that start with X, and then you end it with Y. So, I didn't figure those enemies would be here immediately, but okay, this is what happens if we just press X just on its own. It just... So, that's the useful, that's a useful thing for beginners with Rachel, is the fact that simply doing a combo of just X, if you do it successfully, that's already a grab move that is essentially Rachel's Izuna drop. Which is a lot easier than Ryu's XY, XXXY. The only thing is, it is a little bit slower, so enemies have a chance to kinda attack you in the middle of it, compared to Ryu's Izuna drop. Okay, so we could just jump off a wall and just try to attack this enemy, but Rachel, instead of shurikens, she has this little grappling hook thing. So if you need to hit enemies from further away, that's what that is for. Yeah, Rachel has a separate inventory than Ryu. So Ryu had all those other inventories right now, but Rachel, this is the first Great Spirit Elixir that Rachel has. Here, I only have 2, Only have 2. Okay. Another difference between Ryu and Rachel is the fact that it's specifically a Ryu skill to jump off of enemies' heads. Like, I'm just gonna... Yeah, I'm constantly pressing A right now as I jump over this enemy. She doesn't do the jumping off the enemies thing. What she does have is what happens if you... Well, I wouldn't say roll, she twirls, more like, in her dodging. But if you roll into an enemy, this happens. That is essentially her version of jumping on someone's heads. Yeah. So, what is specifically the usefulness of this? Well, Rachel has an additional attack that she does if you press Y while rolling over an enemy. Like this. Yeah. Or you get on landing status from it. That's also pretty useful. But yeah. For most human enemies, that would be an instant kill. In this difficulty. Or at the very least for most early enemies. At the very least. Okay, but yeah. Before I go that way, I still want to show... Okay. Oh, right, they respawn. Oh well. At least goes to show how easy it is to kill these enemies as Rachel. Especially with the ultimate technique that has a lot of splash damage. There. So, similar to Ryu, you can charge by landing. Yeah. Whereas Ryu does this whole auto combo thing, Rachel does one single slash, or strike, one single strike, which hits multiple enemies at the same time. Right. I kept forgetting. Okay. Okay, I'll just say it. That door is locked, okay? Okay, so here's also Muramasa. Muramasa does not upgrade Rachel's weapon. Muramasa is mostly there to buy things like healing items or earrings. The earrings are essentially Rachel's versions of the armlets or the bands. So yeah, this would increase her attack power, defensive power, yellow essence absorption, key power buildup, and charging ultimate techniques more quickly. Oh, and kick and throw techniques. And again, I might as well just kind of show how useful this move actually is. Just kind of get close to the enemy, roll over them, and press Y. Dwarku Monastery key. Oh. The key to the main entrance of Dwarku Monastery. Well, we just passed by a Dwarku Monastery. Of course, they can't just let us open the door. Alright, these are Fiends. Same thing works on them. Just roll over them, Y. Roll over them, Y. Roll over them, Y. And if you want to mix it up, instead, keep doing the same thing that I did with the Fiend Challenge. In fact, with Rachel, it's actually more useful because you hit multiple enemies at the same time. Which means you will probably get a level 2 ultimate technique instead of 1. Use the Dwarku Monastery key. This is also still a good technique to use anyway. This actually leads me to the final question that Landproud Kopaka asked, which is, what's some fun things to try as a newbie, things that make Ninja Gaiden unique? I think what makes Ninja Gaiden unique is the way the ultimate techniques are built. Mostly because it's not just a charge attack. Because simply by having the essences be part of the equation, that makes it so that there's a constant decision making in your head. Like,
am I just going to save up the money by absorbing it normally, or do I want to use it now in order to get an ultimate technique out of it? And when you do those Fiend challenges, I think, even though it might be a little bit tedious, it's actually a good way to kind of practice the timing of chaining ultimate techniques one after another. And I think that's just a very interesting system for this game. Corpse of a Ninja. Killed before he was able to complete his mission. He is holding something. Alright. Well, good to have. Yeah, let's save quickly. Yeah. Okay, so we are meant to go into this monastery right now. But if we go this way, we will head to the next ambush, as in another 40 enemies to defeat. Yeah, so Ryu can do a wall run. Rachel cannot do a wall run. Like, she can kind of stick to the wall and kind of jump off a wall, but she cannot actually properly a wall run. She is able to reach that, at least, though. Yeah. As I said, this is the next Fiend challenge, so again, have a karma display, so you can tell what your progress is. Yeah. So, again, just kill a few enemies to get the chain started. Yeah, that's 2 enemies, so it would already be a level 2 charge. Now try to make sure you are hitting 2 enemies. At the very least 2 enemies. With this ultimate technique. Which almost makes it almost certain that your next one will be yet another level 2 ultimate technique. In this case, it was just a 1 there. Still, even a 1 is enough to kill multiple enemies at the same time. And also don't forget that you can just use the projectile attack. Like, even though it's not a shuriken, you can still just use the projectile attack to kind of reposition yourself. And it just kind of becomes a little bit of a flow state, really. Just going from one ultimate technique to the other. Besides the timing of the attack, there's also a bit of positioning. Like, you want to be in the right position, or land in the right position, so that when the attack happens, you will hit as many enemies as you can in a single attack. I am going to be very honest though. Rachel's rewards for ambushes or Fiend challenges, they are unfortunately not that useful. If I'm going to be very honest, because oh, okay, Ryu got a whole Life 1000 Gods from it. She gets a hairstyle. Alright, that... Alright, thanks, I guess. So yeah, if you do not want to do these Fiend challenges most of the time with Rachel, you don't need to. I will still do it, just for completion's sake. And just to show how the whole chaining ultimate techniques thing goes. But yeah, compared to Ryu, Rachel does not really need to do it. Anyway, time to go a little bit back on track. Because we are about to reach the end of the stream, in fact. So this is a fancy monastery. Right, the karma display is no longer needed. Okay, so a little fun little extra thing that Rachel can do in this environment specifically is, well, if you press B, or the projectile weapon, well, close to any of these chandeliers, she's actually going to swing from it. Oh, come on. Oh, there. What's the use of that? Not much. It's fun. Anyway. Oh, yeah, that's her counterattack, by the way. So, yeah, so block an enemy attacks, and when the thing happens, press X. There. Also pretty useful because while Rachel does the start of that move, she is invincible. An altar that looks like it was made to display some sort of holy relic. On it, a message is written. Those without faith shall be doomed to wander these depths forever. Ominous. Alright, let's grab this chest as well. Alright. At least we got enough elixir of spiritual life to use. Okay. This will be the final fight of this entry for today. Because we've had enough of these, we have had enough encounters with these black spider ninjas in the meantime, right? So yeah, they actually have enough health to survive that move of Rachel well, sometimes. Other times, it just decapitates them just as well, so just use it against them. Either that, or, again, use wall techniques if you are being overwhelmed by them. So that's also still an option. Or, yeah, the blue essence that they dropped, it ran out. So, that's why I was unable to do the ultimate technique, but here's an ultimate technique there. Well, out of all things for Rachel to read, I guess that's what she wants to read. Also, yeah, keep that in mind. We will return here as Ryu. Okay, I mentioned that Rachel cannot do a wall run. Yeah, she can just kind of stick to the wall and then jump off of it. This kind of makes it so that Rachel cannot reach up there while Ryu can. So, this just kind of blocks off Rachel from, I guess, moving into Ryu's sections. But yeah, let's see what Rachel has to find here.
In an age when chaos ruled all, the bloodlines of all the ancient tribes were mixed, and their traits were passed on to the Fiends. Then there were the twin Fiend sisters, Nike, Fiend of Destruction, and Ishtaros, Fiend of Creation. The bloodline they began invited the awakening of an entire new race of Fiends. Those who have awakened to become Fiends may only find freedom in death. Only in death.
Alright then. So yeah, I'm just going to save in the next chapter, and then I'll just end the stream. I'm a hunter. Alright then. Chapter 6, The City of Fiends. Tyron is full of mysteries, strange creatures called Fiends, and Rachel the Fiend Hunter. However, Ryu still has no clues to the whereabouts of Doku. Oh look, a clue to the whereabouts of Doku. If you wish to follow Doku, first investigate the monastery. It is located in the Dwarku district across the drawbridge. Alright then. And we get another band. Sure, might as well just check what the band does. Oh yeah, we got an enhancement from reaching further in the game. Yeah, we get a Dragon Gauntlet, which you can add alongside the armlet. So yeah, this boosts the power of Blue Essence. If you want, you can just equip these things as well. I am choosing not to, if only because I know that maybe some people would play the Ninja Gaiden Sigma that is on the PlayStation 3 instead, which does not have these enhancements, in fact. So I'm just going to choose not to use them, just to have this series be consistent enough between all versions of Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Anyway, Band of Light. One of Ayani's ribbons, it decreases the time needed to charge ultimate techniques, so that's also pretty useful to have if you use a lot of those ultimate techniques. I'm just gonna keep to the Band of Wealth, if only just so we can save up for the wooden sword. But yeah, I'm just gonna... Okay, I'm gonna switch back to Dragon Sword. And, let's see. Yeah, I'll just save here. And I'll just do an additional save, which will be saved over by the next chapter. Alright. So, let's switch back over to just chatting. So, are there any questions left to answer? I pretty much went over all the questions that Landpro Kobaka asked. But if there are no longer any questions, but I think I am just going to end the stream here. So remember, if you strive to be better than your enemies, be better for your friends, and be better than yourself. Take care, and see ya.